welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, thank you for joining Don Gadley and Gino Franti and the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show every Saturday. That's right, every Saturday we get to spend with you from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., sharing with you what you need to know, want to know, should know about real estate, finance, your community, and so much more. And right now, this week is all about real estate. And to help us, because you don't want just two talking heads giving their opinions, we brought in one of the best professionals in town, very successful, has a very successful team, and is very transparent. That's what we want. We don't want somebody just coming here and giving you canned responses, because you will know the difference, because you know we stopped that a long time ago.
Well, you know what's nice is
called bloopers.
How humble and real do you have to be to say, hey, I'm terrible at some stuff, you know? And that's what we talked about with Randy in the last time, is to say, I'm not great at everything. There's some things I'm really good at, and there's some things that just aren't in my wheelhouse, you know, like penmanship for me.
Yeah. If he was at doctor, you're like, no, I have a cold. Why did you give me oxycodone? All of a sudden they're lighting out the door.
Most people don't complain about that. Yeah,
you know, they're lighting about the door.
Yeah. But you know, that's the reality of life, right? We can't be good at everything. We have to admit what we're good at, what we're not, and if we're a business owner, we have to hire people to help us with the things we're not good at. And Randy's put together a team of people to make sure his clients get top level service, to make sure that he has a specialist in every field. And we were talking a little bit earlier about your team in particular, and you know,
Randy Plaice and Associates.
Yeah.
Just clarifying that in case they're like, who's this guy?
Well, then why don't you just bring him on? So let's go ahead and jump in. Furman, let's bring Randy on real quick and kind of pick up where we left off and tell us a little more about your team. Just a little bit more about how it's built, who's on it.
And I like how you talked about there's different types of teams, you know, and you decided to put together a certain team that works best for you and your clients.
Well, one thing I do, as I alluded to earlier, actually I didn't even allude, I touched on that I travel a lot, I go to a lot of conferences so I can always grow and learn, and I'm lucky enough to be friends with a lot of other major teams across the country and the world, so I'm able to model our process after other teams that are doing it at a high level too, outside of our local space, because sometimes you focus in the here and now and you miss certain things because there's a little myopic view of how to do things. So this way I have more of a global view, like a 30,000 foot view, and I can see kind of how to model things. So the way that I have changed a lot, and one of the things that I've done to really improve on the overall team dynamic is by making it a collective we, never a me, ever. And it's always about the client, but also instead of the client being serviced by Shannon on our team or Andrew on our team or whoever on the team, they're serviced directly by those people, but the whole collective team is working behind them as well. The whole team is looking out for properties that they're looking for since inventory is a little bit tight. You know, the whole team is helping on the marketing or open housing or whatever it's going to take to help service the client.
Well, 6 brains are better than just one.
Well, there's 6 on the sales side, including me, that's 7. And then we also have admin support as well. So we have a total of 11 people on the team, which is the largest team by far in Santa Clarita.
Wow.
And what I've done is I've decided, okay, we're going to make sure that we set ourselves up to win, and more importantly, we set the clients up to win by leveraging relationships at a high level. And since we have so many people, we just have more ability to connect because we have more relationships, because it's just math. There's just more people.
Well, you're investing in their success. I mean, that's given up, because we've had to do the same thing at Skyline. We can appreciate that because people go, how do you guys always close your loans and close your loans on time? And we do the same thing. We invest in, 1, the best people, and 2, we invest in capacity to make sure that we never run into, oh, I'm sorry, we were just too busy. Who wants that?
In our industry, it's pretty common, right? And Don and I have fought this for years, is they would like to see branches operate lean and mean. And after you get the business, then you go hire the people to service it. I'm like, we've talked about that. That's backwards. It doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you ruin those opportunities, right? Some of those are first-time opportunities that you get, and if you ruin those opportunities, then you won't need to hire anybody else. So we've always opted to have a little extra staff, you know, call it a little fat. And I can now look in the mirror and not feel that way.
Yeah, you might have been more sensitive about that in the
earlier.
past.
Yeah.
Hey, why are you looking at me? Hold on.
No, you look good. No.
All right. No lunch. Good.
No, remember, it's half a Gino.
Right. Oh, okay, yeah.
So
we can show them when we started the show.
Yeah.
We have so much more room in our studio now.
I know, I remember.
We can tease about it now.
So, but that's how we operate, because we want to make sure, like on your team, you want to make sure that people get great service. And great service, you can't have it running with limited resources. You need to have an abundance of resources available to make sure that, like you said, to the things in life come up for all of us, right? Like a personal thing, or whether it be a family member or a school or a kid or something. So when you have a big, wide team like that, there's still other people there to back them up.
And also, I think, speaking to that, I agree with you, but also it's good because since we are such a large team, we have a lot of different personalities. I'm very big on getting to know them intimately, so I know what they're about, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their why is, why they show up every day, if they have family, if they, what their dreams are, all of that stuff. So when I'm trying to pair a client, I can do that in a way where I know that they're going to be a natural fit for so-and-so or so-and-so. Because I know
it does make a difference.
It does. Yeah. It makes a huge difference. Huge. It's about rapport. It's about relationship. It's about genuinely caring about the client. I don't want to put someone together who I know they're not going to hit it off and it's just going to be work. I want it to be an enjoyable experience for everybody because it can be stressful, and I want to minimize that and make it just good for all of us. Because life's too short for this.
That's a really good point, though, Randy. I love it. And if you just tuned in, we're here with Randy Plaice, Randy Plaice Associates with RE/MAX, one of the most successful real estate teams out here in Santa Clarita and beyond. You're continuing to grow, which I love, and it's great to see you because as a friend of ours, we've seen you been growing like we have. We've been growing together, which is kind of fun.
Absolutely.
By putting together great teams like this. But that personality piece is huge because Gino and I do that with our team as well. And I'm just saying we're supporting that, not trying to top you, but we do the same thing. We can talk about Don T all the time. If they're engineers and they want somebody to hold their hand and go through dotting I's and crossing T's, and which would drive Gino and I, we're more conceptual.
Yes.
We'll come up with ideas that no one will come up with. Yes. But they want an engineer who goes, no. I want to go through every I and every T, and then we hit them, and I go, oh my heck! Yep. And Don T has no problem. He's like, let's go.
Yeah, it's almost like he has fun doing it.
Yeah. We're like, ew. And then we have other people that have greater personalities, or his personality versus mine. And we'll even share and go, we're not. Yeah, it's not hitting. This one's not. We're not seeing eye to eye.
Even other things like real life stuff, like he's a contractor. Well, then I'll deal with him because I used to be a contractor, so I know what it's like to be a contractor. I know what it's like to have a bunch of receivables that haven't come in yet. So maybe he doesn't quite have his down payment, but he's got $200,000 in receivables and he thinks they're going to come in at a certain time. So I can relate to those things. So, you also have to pair people not only on personalities, but also on what their life experiences are like, or, people that like go to the same school or play on the same sports teams and things like that as well.
Relatability, like you said, is really important. Just having that real connection, because at the end of the day, we're not in this for a paycheck. We're in this for the experience. I really believe that. I mean, this isn't me coming up with some huge philosophical, awakening for all of us. But it's but the reality is, life is short, right? And tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us. So I'm going to do something that I enjoy, that makes an actual impact in the world, and my team feels the same way too. We want to help people. We want to actually be a part of the process. Of course, we want to make money at the same time, so we can fuel our dreams and our wants and our vacations and things.
You've made a career out of this. Wow. Because some people are in it for the money and for the buck now, but you cannot survive. I've been in it for 30 years. I can actually attest to it. The teams that I've seen are the people that are all about the buck and about them being the hero, and we'll talk about that with your team. They don't survive. I'm sorry. They break apart. They eventually, their team members leave. But now you're about it for the long haul, and you have to enjoy it. That's why I brought Gino on my team. We have Ken. We have all these great people, because otherwise you get burnt out. And and your team gets burned out.
And they can smell it, like you said, the commission breath. They can tell that it's just about the money, that you really don't care one way or the other about the outcome, except for the income coming in. They can smell it. And you know what? With us, it's real. Yeah. And you know that we're there because we want to help. And
then you sleep well at night, I'm sure. I mean,
I toss and turn, but you know what? I think a lot of great leaders do, because we're always thinking about stuff. You guys just touched on how you think big and you're conceptual. So am I. I'm very cerebral. I'm always thinking about the next and how can we do things better? How can we improve? So it does create sleepless nights, and I'm actually working on that. So thanks for touching on a soft spot.
No, I had an hour of sleep last night, so I'm all about it. So I get it, and it wasn't because of stress. It was because how do we take this to the next level, really? And you just get rolling in your head, about how you can do that, or certain people in your team that you can adjust.
What do we call it? The 3 o'clock in the morning real estate fairy.
Yeah.
It wakes you up in the morning and you're like, well, maybe something else wakes you up in the morning, but then after you come back from the bathroom, you can't go to bed.
Then the fairy's with you. Follow you in.
Yeah. All right. So we're here with Randy Plaice Associates. Again, a very successful real estate team. and also good dude. And he's here being transparent with us and sharing with how he's helping you be successful, whether it's selling or buying a home. So in our next 2 segments, we're going to break it down for you in each segment. We're going to break it down. Is that okay, Randy? To break down how you're helping sellers.
Yep.
Because it's a unique experience versus how you're helping buyers in one of the toughest real estate markets ever, because we have no inventory, but you're still helping. You just gave us some great numbers of how you're helping a lot of people be successful, and I want to hear more about that when we come back, all right?
Sounds great.
All right, we'll be right back. You don't want to go away for the second half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Check out more at donandgino.com.